Looks pretty good. Oh, almost looks pretty good.
Well, hello there, you gorgeous peeps. Get this other handsome man in screen and we'll be ready to go.
I'm thinking about trying to get us a little closer this time.
Come closer.
Come closer.
No, that's too close.
No, let's just keep it.
Yeah,
Oh, see?
Yeah.
That's why I can't do it.
That's
why I can't get creative.
That's why we don't mess with this.
I shouldn't get creative after I've already started up. Alright, that'll work.
There you go.
Alright, cool.
I'm like sadly envisioning something we've seen before with the fall off and stuff.
Alright, owie. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yes, dude, our birthday month is finally done.
I know.
Yeah, but it's
that just
even
means
better month.
Something better, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That just means that we are here for Halloween now, you guys.
Yeah.
And so we are here to do what, Fuego?
We are here to, I guess, kind of unbox. That's the term that you enjoy?
No, not necessarily. We'll do that at some point during the episode, but what's the point of this stream, man?
No, we are talking about the fact that I got to see Sai King. Hail to Stephen King. Yeah, you're going to see the official episode proper where I got to talk to a lot of different guests and have a ton of fun. That's coming next week, but I just flew in a plane like late last night, so there was not proper time to give the, I guess, attention and diligence and stuff to this particular stream. So this is going to be me unboxing it, which is what I was kind of implying, because we've done that before with Phoenix Comic-Con, with Mad Monster and stuff like that. So I was blessed to have the opportunity, there's Table Cat, to fly to the Chicago area for the first time in my life, actually. And I was not in Chicago, though. I drove out to a small spot called Bolingbrook, I think it was, and that's where I stayed in the Airbnb for like mad cheap, dude. It was like $30 a night. I was with these medical students who I saw once. They kind of seemed scared by me, which was a little weird. But the bottom line is that I drove about 10 miles into a spot called Naperville, which was at a college called North Central College. It's apparently an esteemed arts college where, despite the fact that they're known for their academics, they've also won like 40 years plus of like track and field and cross country, like Division III championships, and so they're esteemed for like a small bit of their athletics and stuff. But beautiful campus, very cool little town, and that's where King decided to do his signing, his biggest of the entire tour, also.
Right, and so we are here to not unbox, but to unpack sort of Fuego's trip, as it were.
That was what you called it before, right?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that, but first let me say hi to some people that are here. Of course, we've got Okie Jules, we've got Mason Gregg here. Hey, guys. Brady is here. What's up, Brady? Haven't seen you for a few days. Good to see you back. Chrissy Bug is here.
The King stuff is dried up, so Brady is like, yeah, I'm going back to playing video games and whatnot.
Tony Robinson, no, we have not seen Cult of Chucky yet. We're waiting for the Blu-rays to come in the mail because the studio is sending us the Blu-ray set.
Yeah, the entire 7 films, right?
Yeah, all of them. Yep, exactly. Plus a bunch of special features. Tripper Gedham says, "Fuego, Fuego, Fuego. I made you out of clay."
And Fuego's here today.
Oh my God! Sorry.
You even scared Table Cat, dude.
Of course, she hates sneezes. Rogue Reaper says, "Hey, how you guys doing?" Leslie McCann is here. And let's see, Jamie Williamson, Blue Moon is here.
Jamie,
Katie Rice, hey. Chris Harstead, Rigo, hey guys, greetings from Chile.
Oh, man.
To the El Sapolindo city. All right, I like
all
that.
All those international peeps, man, it just warms my heart.
Damn, Scott Baker, hey, what's up, guys?
Yes,
Miss Bond.
Scott is awesome. Hola, Miss Bond.
Hey, guys. Michelle Kelly, I was there too. She was at the King signing.
Why didn't you say hi? There was another girl named, like, Haley or something who follows me on Twitter, and she was like, I saw you interviewing, but I didn't say hi. And I was like, why didn't you say hi? I wanted all the fans of Hail to Stephen King to say hi and like chat with me and maybe do an interview. It was almost like pulling teeth to get people to talk about him. There was a lot of shy people, although I got about a half dozen, and it was a ton of fun, man.
Todd Blair is here. He says, hey, Gerald's game is amazing. And
yes, it
Fuego
is.
is about 30 minutes away from the end. I finished it. After this, he's going to finish the movie. Then we are going to record our review to be released tomorrow of Gerald's game.
Indeed.
So
I was talking to fans last night, fans and friends and stuff, you know, once I finally got home, and I was like, damn, I still gotta watch Gerald's game. And I started it the previous night after the signing at the Airbnb and just kind of fell asleep and got some of it done. It was like maybe the first 20 minutes. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with the fact that, and I'll save the predominance of this for the review, I should say. But
yummy.
I was, that's
Delicious.
Delightful. So
Delicious.
I have to say, once again, very similar to it. I like the way they changed things and they interpreted it as opposed to just doing a direct adaptation, because sometimes a careful hand can move things in the proper direction, and I don't necessarily want to make things better, but maybe easier to interpret on screen. And Flanagan so far, man, actually, oh no.
Just 1 second, guys.
You can still hear me, right?
Just 1 second.
Flanagan still liked my tweet when I was praising some of the things, and so, yeah, man, he is a very adept and awesome filmmaker, and Cecil is actually working.
You guys don't want to see our legs,
nice,
do you?
Nice close. Hey, we have some weird people on the stream, as you know, who are like, "Oh my god, I love your socks." Brittany Lee, I love your legs. And
Okay, all right.
That's when Cecil's
we don't
like,
need to talk about Will when he's not here. Okay, so Blue Moon says just finished Sleeping Beauty's audiobook, amazing.
Oh, I haven't. So I got my book the other day, and man, they only had a few hundred of
oh,
us
Ms.
that
Watson
got.
said bye, guys. Why?
What?
Oh, she's going to see Flatliners. Okay.
Oh,
cool. All right,
well, I've
fair
heard Flatliners sucks, unfortunately.
Jay Thomason says the cat is funny. Andrew Horror says sweet bad religion shirt, Fuego.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is my political affiliation. You guys should see the rest of it.
Veridine, is that a sleeping cat? That is a sleeping cat. That is Table Cat.
That's the way I voted.
Table Cat 1. Table Cat 2 is just off camera here on a chair, cleaning himself.
Yeah, I'm an independent. I do not go with this crazy political jargon.
So, guys, there's something I want to do right now just because I'm tired of waiting. But first off, big shout out to Nerdful Things for our horror show Big Glass and the horror show Stein here. I know.
And this is light beer today. So.
Now, what are we unboxing or unpostering and why? Guys,
basically one of our best friends at the horror show.
Yeah, one of the show's best friends / viewers / fan contributors. Yes. You guys have seen him twice on the channel.
We will meet you, Sir Rob.
And he, well, maybe more. I don't know if you consider all of his chatting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I actually commissioned him to do a little something because I saw that he was talented. So right now I'm going to unposter. Fuego has no idea what I commissioned, but I do, and I know Rob is as excited as I am.
Rob, I hope it's Dark Tower related.
Oh no, he says no. My internet is being funky again.
Dark Tower.
Madeline Hernandez. Hey, I've been watching your videos for a few months now, and I love it. I subscribed right away. You guys are great. Thank you very much. Sanity is radical. We need Gerald's game reviews, Fuego.
That's
coming. Honestly scarier to me than it.
Coming.
Yeah, no, we are doing the Gerald's game review after we do this. I need to get into this.
That's actually funny, dude, because a lot of people have been saying, they're like, okay, just the concept alone for Gerald's game, creepier than it. The concept alone for 1922, creepier than it. Netflix, I should say, is knocking that chisel out of the park. They really don't falter much with stuff they produce themselves, and so I am extremely excited to see just how Thomas Jane dwells within the realm of King once again.
All right, so we got a little note, and John David Cerna, hey man, I'm expecting your reading guide on the Dark Tower.
Well, that's on the channel, so you can check it out.
Okay, so I got a little note. It says, "Hey Cecil, Jaime, Marsha, and crew.
Marshall.
Here you go. Hope you like them. The smaller sketch is a reprint of the one I made for a friend of mine. I left a bit of a border so it can be trimmed in case you find it worthy to hang as well. Enjoy them in good health. Thanks for all you guys do for the world of horror. Beep beep, Rob."
Rob, we love you, bro.
That is from Rob, Rubber Soul. All right, so I don't want to look
Okay, so Rob even drew a little like floaty paper boat. That is badass.
Okay.
We love you, brother.
So I'm gonna show Fuego and I first. I'm gonna show him ours, not the reprint.
I see.
Okay, so this is our first reaction to seeing Rob's work. Yeah. All right.
The gears
Cheers
real quick. Yes.
to you, Rob.
Cheers to Rob. We love you, brother.
All right, and then I'll show it to you guys. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show it to them first.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
All right,
Kill
guys.
them all. Kill them all. Kill them all.
I have not seen this yet. I gotta check to make sure it's the right side up. Okay. All right.
You know I'm curious.
Here you go. You guys get to
cheat.
see it first.
I'm not gonna cheat. I promise.
Don't cheat.
I promise.
I'm not gonna cheat either. I just gotta make sure it's on frame. There it is. All right. That's it, guys. That's his work. So, here I go. I'm bringing it back to show Fuego.
Robber Soul. Although, the one thing him and I have never discussed is the fact that I'm not that big of a Beatles fan.
Alright, you ready?
Holy shit.
Oh, man. That is
Bitchin', Rob.
so awesome.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. So, that has to go
on the wall, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
That's going on the wall.
Rob, we love you, bro.
And he asked if I wanted it full color or accentuated.
No,
and I was
like
the
the
accentuation is the
perfect
dude.
man. Yes, yes. It almost makes it more ominous.
Oh, that's so great, dude. He did such a good job.
Rob. We love Rob.
That is so amazing. All right, so and then the other one he sent us is a print.
But wait, there's more. Check it out because this one's a screamer.
That's the one I saw him doing. Yeah. If only the balloon was
He sent us the print. Oh, you want the balloon red now too?
Holding these balloons.
So here is the other one he sent us.
Breast milk.
This is a print of his other one.
Yeah. So, if you guys want something similar, you should really consult our friend Rob.
And just because I pulled it away so quickly, I'll show you this one for a little longer.
He needs your money. That's right. Rob Corddry needs your money. He will gladly make you all of these delightful...
He nailed this, you guys. He really, really nailed this.
He essentially did. I ran out of the South Park voice there.
Yeah.
It was going for a moment.
Guys, is it being jumpy or are we okay?
No. What's the Dilla? What's the Dilla dog?
It looked a little jumpy, but that could be because I was just messing with the camera so closely.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility.
All right, so let's see what they say. Stephen King Fan 22 says, "Hey guys." Javier Lerma says, "What up?"
What up?
Gerald's game had me gag at one point. Chrissy, I agree.
Is it?
I agree.
But if you've read the book, it's the point that I'm thinking.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know.
Because there's a point at which I had to look away.
Was it the back half or the middle half?
Back half.
Okay,
I had to look away.
Okay, well maybe so.
I had to look away. I had to look away.
They did actually tone things down a little bit without spoiling anything, which I thought was maybe better because, seriously, man, that book.
Metal Man Reacts is here.
I do love it, but...
Blue Moon says, "Wow." Tony Robinson says, "Tight" about the drawings. Sandy is Radical says, "Badass drawing."
Yeah. Rob.
Sarah Marcel says, "Cool," and she's here.
Yeah.
CK2D, "Damn, good work." Katie Rice says, "So nice, OMG."
Yeah.
Sarah Marcel says, oh, it's good. Javier says, "It's been a while since I watched video." Oh, hey, it's good to see you, buddy. Michelle Kelly says, "Nice work there." Also, the cat just scared the shit out of me.
Well, I'm not surprised. Cats scare the shit out of me all the time. I'm allergic to them, and they jump up frequently.
Yes, Stephen King, Rubber Soul did that. Yeah, he did both of those.
Yes, so shout out to Rubber Soul?
Yeah, Rubber Soul.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Rob,
okay.
please list in the comments, man, or in the chat below where people can get a hold of you for any type of commission work, man, because your shit... on point, and we love you, man.
Ralphie chimed in, says, "I just watched Gerald's game. I can't sleep now." Yeah, man, they did a good job with one particular thing that I had no clue was in there. That
do you have a significant other that ties you to the bed? Is that why you're having problems?
That didn't ring home, I swear. All right, Scott Baker Smooth here on the East Coast. All right, so Fuego, continue with your story of... Beth S. is here, and Corvo at AZ is here. Hey, guys. All right, go ahead, Fuego, continue.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's really not as much to tell without spoiling the thing that you're going to see next Sunday, because this is kind of a live...
You've got to talk a little bit about it. We have an hour to fill. What the hell are you doing?
We do. My God, I have to say, the chemistry between Sai King and his son was impeccably endearing. Seriously.
No, let's go play by play.
Okay,
Let's go play by play. Let me just interview you.
Okay,
Let me just fucking
but
interview
this is
you.
stuff that I was kind of trying to work in for the video next week. I mean, that's the only thing.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah, because
you be the judge then. You go ahead. You go ahead. I'm just trying to make for an interesting stream.
No. Actually, interview me, buddy. That's good. That's good.
All right. So,
ask me questions.
No, because you can refer. You're going to be showing footage. Let this be the Fuego giving his sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So you left when from Phoenix?
Okay. So I left from Phoenix. Man, I worked the day job at the 4-star hotel, and I flew out at like 1:40. I got there as the sun was setting in Chicago. Have you ever been to Chicago before?
No.
Oh my lord. So I had forgotten like a dumb fizzle that they are like it's a city right on like the water, you know, and it's a lake. It's not like ocean or anything like that, but it's on like Michigan. And so as we were flying in, man, it's 7 o'clock, the sun is setting, it's so beautiful, and I was immediately endeared with just the visage of the city. It was so just impeccably beautiful. We get down, and then immediately I'm like, well, how the hell am I...
What time is it?
It was about 7 o'clock.
Okay.
7 o'clock their time, which would be...
4 here.
Not Eastern Standard Time.
So 5 here.
They're only 2 hours aside from us Mountain Time. So, yeah, man, I gotta say, it was just so impeccably just beautimous. All man, impeccable. Amazing. And I walked through, and I'm like, where the hell am I going to go? Because I'm heading to the suburbs, and the suburbs, unfortunately, as most of my Uber drivers gave me shit about, they're like, wait, so you're in Chicago, fo? Because it was all, like, awesome brothers that, like, drove me around and stuff, and they were like, so you're in Chicago for this sign-in, but you're heading to the suburbs, which is boring as hell, and I drove past Aurora, so, you know, I was like, Wayne's World, body time, excellent! But I ended up in, so Naperville was where the signing was, and then Bolingbrook was where I ended up staying at this Airbnb. And so, as I said earlier in the stream, I was like, dude, I saw these medical students once. The whole 3 days that I was there. It was really a little bit weird, but, you know, I only got charged $60 for 3 nights of, for 3 days, 2 nights of staying there.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, it was mad cool. And I did it on the cheap specifically because of the fact that I wanted that flexibility and, you know, just to be able to, you know, kind of maneuver around and do my own thing. So
Scott Baker has a specific question for you. I heard a
Scott
rumor
Baker.
on the Stephen King subreddit that King hinted during the book signing in Chicago that a new book is finished.
No, well, he said a new book is finished, like, weeks or months ago, if I'm not mistaken. It's actually already on his Wikipedia. It's like The Outsider or something like that. I would have to double check, but yeah, it is indeed finished. And so, you know, even though he's working on stuff with this kid, he has something that's already in the pipeline. And dude, it's the year of the king, as we all know. And so it's funny because I was joking with some people seated right behind me at the signing or the speaking thing, because there was only, of the 3,000 people, there was like, it was either 300 or 400, I can't recall exactly, that got signed copies, and it was totally random, and they were just handing them out as we were leaving. I did not get one, but yet a girl who follows the show got one, her mom or something, and so I was like immediately immensely jealous. But long story short, man, it was very cool to get a copy of the book basically for the price of admission, because it was $40 for a ticket, and a hardcover from Sai King is in the 30 to 40 range usually. Cool. Yeah. So the book was free, and you got to see him talk for about an hour and a half, which was pretty rad. All right,
so Ralphie brought up something that we will talk about during our Gerald's Game Review for sure, but I will say Fuego just squeed when he watched that part when Gerald mentions all things serve the bean.
Well, of course, and then there was a Cujo reference and stuff, and yet none of that is in the book, so that'll all be saved for the film review.
For the film review. Wences jumps on and says, I'm glad this is on tonight. Just went through some bad animal news, so it's nice to be calm right now. So I think, Fuego, at the very least, we need to cheers.
Yeah, we can
Wences,
cheers
to whatever animal it is that you got bad news about.
Yeah.
They brought you love and happiness, and hopefully they make it through whatever it is that you're going through, and even if not, all the best.
Yes, cheers to animals eating people, like in Gerald's game.
Yes. True. Okay, so you get in and you go to sleep, so what do you do Thursday?
Well,
or Friday?
Friday, basically, I woke up, I went and I moseyed around, I got some breakfast, I went to White Castle. Don't tell anybody I went to White Castle.
It's horrible.
I know.
We tried it.
I was reminded.
Because we went with you.
Dude, it was the only thing.
When we went to Scarefest in Kentucky.
It was the only thing within walking distance, damn it.
We tried it with Marsha, and it was god-awful.
And you know
Look, I'm sorry if you're a White Castle fan, but White Castle sucks.
Well,
it
you know what?
sucks.
Okay. This is the reasoning behind going to White Castle. So, I'm in the suburbs, bro. And so, it's like, well, do I go to Taco Bell? Do I go to McDonald's? Do I go to all of these horribly... Because, you know, there's not a lot of independent places in this particular suburb of Bolingbrook. And so, I was just like, you know, if there's any chain that I'm going to go to...
I'm so sorry, guys.
When I'm in that particular area, I'm going to go to a chain that is inaccessible for me in my particular area of the country. And so I went to White Castle. I got 3 of those weird little burgers, but they had ghost pepper cheese.
Okay, that I would try.
I
would try.
They weren't bad.
That I would try. But that's because it was burning your taste buds out of realizing that it was shitty food.
Maybe. And I took a photo, but I was just like, oh my goodness, I don't know.
Taco time there is better than Taco Bell. Is that not the Mexican place we tried before we left? Like, wasn't there? Do you remember that one Mexican place? I was like, I really want to try it. We tried it before we left. It was taco time, right?
Yeah.
It was so good.
Crazy Steven. Hi,
it was
Crazy
so
Steven.
good. Yeah.
There, buddy.
Or wait, no, it was taco time in Chicago. Maybe I'm making it up. Anyway, there was a Mexican place that we tried at the tail end of our trip that was really good. That was chain. That I was like, oh my god. Lazy Gamer's here with a terrible River Song impression, which I can approximate. Hello, sweeties. There you go. There you go. Lazy Gamer, that was for you. Because I know Doctor Who, except for the last 2 seasons of fucking Peter Capaldi, because I don't fucking like old doctors. Fuck off with the old doctors. I am all about this female doctor, though. I am going to jump back into the series.
You know that I've said many times that the only Doctor Who that I've watched is where there was like a little kind of thing with the blondie and the younger doctor. And there's actually a very cool video floating around on the interwebs, which is If I Ever Leave This World Alive. And it's basically a Flogging Molly song that shows how they had like a little thing going on. I think it was the same season where there was a Britney Spears song and the aliens were like listening to it or something. I don't know.
Chase Smith says Cecil likes hot doctors. Mental note. It's very true, Chase. I do like hot doctors. By the way, Chase, how's that review coming?
I still prefer nurses. Hello,
nurse! Alright. Are you guys still watching American Horror Story Cult? I'm on episode 2. I will finish it. I will fucking force my way through it. The only saving grace for the whole season for me is Evan Peters.
Well, he's badass in anything
Sarah Paulson is pissing me off. Oh my god, I'm only 2 episodes in, and her fucking hyena hysterics are so aggravating.
She has honestly bugged me in just about every season she's been on that show. I mean, between her and oh goodness, older blondie who was there for years and years and years. Why can I not think of her name?
What?
Older blondie who was there for the first 4 seasons or so.
Oh, Jessica Lange.
Yes, Jessica Lange. Yeah, both of them. No bueno, bro.
Ian Riphash is here. Hey guys, big fan. Good to see ya. Melissa9822 is here. It's called Midnight of the Doctor Who. Okay.
Okay.
Chase Smith says, I just edited an academic essay, so the review is going great. Okay.
Chase, we love you. This
Andrew is on as a viewer. Hail to the king. All right. Well,
Andrew,
hey, Andrew.
Mr. Mercer, we love you, sir.
Tyler Komach, hello. Or hello. And Jason Hobbs is here.
That sounded very...
No, I mean,
Jason, what up,
he just said, hi. Anyone seen WTF movie? No, that doesn't...
No,
anyway.
That doesn't really equate. I've seen
Have you guys seen the new season of Channel Zero yet? Asks Swenson. No. Stay on target, though.
Dude.
Let's continue with you.
Okay. Just to point out real quick, Lou said the new season is insanely awesome.
I will get to it. I will get to it.
Yeah. So, day Friday?
Day Friday.
I should say. Yeah, day Friday. I'm thinking day 5.
You started, you got up, you walked around, what?
I did. I went and I got some White Castle, like I told you guys. Do not judge me.
Boy, we got sidetracked as fuck after that.
Didn't we, though? Didn't we?
Wow.
And then I took an Uber from Bolingbrook to Naperville. Naperville is about 10 miles away, and it's basically a college town. And so you've got North Central College. It's a liberal arts college, and they have apparently a dynasty for Division III track and field and cross country, which is kind of crazy. So we're talking stretching back to the 50s. They have had national championships, and so I was wondering when the Uber driver and I were like kind of navigating around, and there's like guys running and stuff, and I was a cross country kid like in the early grade school years, and so it was kind of interesting. But they list on the ticket the fact that stuff is going down at this bookstore, you know?
Someone has to see my shirt.
There you go. And they listed it's going down at the bookstore, so I'm driven to the bookstore. The bookstore is apparently not where this is transpiring, so they lead me to the recreation center, which is where anytime there's an overflow...
North Central Positronics?
I wish. Rob was actually really funny because when I tweeted out the photo or Instagrammed it or whatever, he was like, I thought that said North Central Positronics as opposed to North Central College, and yeah, he just cracked me up. But long story short, man, we end up in...
Well, I'm glad you guys find yourselves fucking amusing.
Yes, Rob, I love you, buddy. And I'm going to take a quick sip as you twirl.
All right, I will check with the comments once again. I want to get like, Pennywise on the wall. That's why I keep touching
basically, I'm at the college at that point. Let's just kind of leave it at that.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I've made my way there after a strange journey that included Ubers, and going to a bookstore, and then thinking I'm going to be on campus, and walking over. And I got lots of interesting B-roll of just like kind of walking.
I'm excited to see your footage. So okay, campus, man. Get to the signing already. Jesus Christmas!
I thought you were going to check comments, man.
I did.
No, there was nothing. Everybody just wants to hear about
signing.
Yeah. So I walk up and there's maybe, I'd say about 15 people there when I arrived at 3 o'clock. And all that I was doing at 3 o'clock was just kind of scouting out the event because they even sent out an email, guys. Nobody is allowed to line up prior to 5 p.m. because they don't want to hinder the students who, seriously, the whole time we were in line, there were students like cutting around us and going in the parking lot and trying to get into the different areas and stuff like that. But Stephen King fans, they don't give a fuck. And so the woman who I interviewed first and foremost, who was in this tie-dye shirt, she's a school teacher. She had been reading Sai King for over 40 years. She was first in line. She was the first interview that I did. Dude, she was like, I went up and I had my camera, and she's like, I've been here since 10 a.m. And I was like, you know that nobody's allowed to be here until 5. And she was like, I don't care. And she was just all about it. So I talked to her for a few minutes. And man, she was endearing. She was very fun. And she was reading her own copy of The Stand. She had like a little paperback. And she was just sitting out there for 7 hours reading and hanging out, which was kind of funny. And then as I went through the line, I talked to different people who were willing, and yet I was kind of surprised. There's a lot of very shy Stephen King fans, but I found a few. There was one in particular who cracked me up, him and his girlfriend. He had a hand puppet.
Wait, I'm sorry.
He had a hand puppet of Pennywise.
No, I have to stop you.
All right,
I have to stop you because Brady wants me to stop you. He says,
Brady,
why won't you mention my comments? I'm sorry you like Transformers. Can't wait for 1922. Love Gerald's game. Okay. Brady wanted me to make sure I stopped whatever we were doing.
I was going to say, I'm drinking
to
beer,
make sure we mention his comments. So, guys, I'm so sorry,
guys,
Brady was going to leave if I didn't stop and mention everything that he wanted to say.
That means we love Brady if we're stopping everything.
So, Jesus, man. Just let Fuego tell his story.
Wow, buddy.
We'll get to your comments.
I love you,
Good gracious.
Goodness.
All right, so someone had a Pennywise puppet. Was it old Pennywise or new Pennywise?
It was old Pennywise, and it was so funny because as we were doing the questions and stuff, he was like rah, 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 and like answering with the puppet and stuff. So that's actually one of my favorite bits. The woman at the front of the line, the guy with the hand puppet.
Brady, I'm just fucking around. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make you feel that. He said, "I'm so sorry."
Brady, we love you, man. It's good. It's good.
Sorry, I just had to think of a clever way to kind of, it was funny.
Right under the bus, and we backed the bus up over Brady.
Stop in the name of Brady. Sorry, that was courtesy of Wences. All right.
Before you break my heart.
Go ahead, Fuego.
Yeah, but my it was like third or fourth interview because I had the opportunity. It was almost like heavy metal parking lot is the best way I can describe it. So I was like, okay, all these people inside King's parking lot, like in line, waiting to see him. Who wants to talk to me? and a lot of them didn't want to talk to me. They were like, no, not that camera. No, no, no. But I found a few, and one of the third or fourth people that I spoke with was a woman who runs a constant reader fan page, man. And so it's got like 70, 80,000 people on it, and she implored me to join it so I could chill.
Did you?
No, of course I did. It's a secret,
and you didn't invite me to join?
It's a secret group, though. You know? And
I'm sorry. It's a secret group.
I just got
guys. It's a secret.
Night.
Guys.
Oh,
guys.
Man, look what's happening. Look at what's happening. Look at this man's face.
It's a secret group. Don't ask him about it, okay?
Yeah, Tonia was so funny.
Secret
The lady that I interviewed was so funny because she was like, it's a secret Facebook group, so I have to invite you specifically. And I was like, well, okay. And she's a sweetheart. She is super, super cool. There's no shit talking whatsoever. She was wearing a... oh, goodness. It was a... no. What is the Deadborn film? Why is it eluding me and making me unhappy that I can't not remember? Fudgicles.
The first rule of the secret group is we don't talk about the secret group.
Exactly. Rob knows, if that's Rob saying.
That was Rob?
Yes. How did I know it was Rob? Love you, Rob. No, this lady was wearing a Shawshank shirt, and I think just about everybody I interviewed was wearing a Stephen King shirt. So there was, either tie-dye, whatever lady, and there was somebody who had... I mean, this older lady that I interviewed told me that she has sent birthday cards to Stephen King for the last 40 years, every year on the dot. Like, I got such endearing, amazing stuff. I can't wait for you guys to see this video. It was so much fun, and thankfully, it was so funny, but people were not quite as nice when I first showed up, and I talked to a few people, and I had my spot in line, and I was like, I'm going to go do some interviews, and would you guys be nice enough to hold my spot? They did not hold my spot.
No?
No, they did not. So I went and interviewed a bunch of people, and then I came back and they're just like, it was the people behind them that were being like real bastards about it. And so,
wow.
Yeah, and so I ended up almost to the parking structure, which is only for students. And from that point,
If you're ever in a long line, you ask the people behind you.
Yes.
If you
There's
can
nobody
come.
behind me at the moment, though.
Oh,
that's the thing.
Well, you have to
was
wait.
Behind me.
You have to wait, and then you ask them, "Hey, can you hold my spot if when I come back you go ahead of me?"
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, what's the point? They're not going to hold the spot of anyone right in front of them.
Thankfully, I made friends with the people who showed up behind me. There was one girl named Giselle, I want to say. There was a guy, it wasn't Rob. I'm just terrible about it, but he was essentially the head video guy at the MGM Grand for all of their live events. Yeah, so I ended up hanging out.
Hey, Andrew, I beat the 2 frogs, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah. I ended up hanging out and going having beers with this dude afterwards, who is the main production guy who had been on tour with Pearl Jam and Tom Petty and all this stuff, and he was just like an older Stephen King fan who thought I was cool. So I felt kind of privileged.
Chrissy Bug says, I was able to see Wes Craven in college. Luckily, first row center because I was the editor of the college paper. I let someone else do the separate interview, though, because I was in too much awe. Oh, that sucks. I'm jealous, though. Wes Craven was one of my favorite directors of all time.
Yeah, I would have knocked that shit out of the park. You should have really done it yourself, girl. Sorry.
We did review It Comes at Night, Lazy Gamer, and we had 5 people in on that review, and it literally ran the gamut. Fuego and Lou liked it.
Which is often the case.
Myself and Marcia did not, if I recall.
And actually, Dirk liked it too.
Dirk thought he was halfway on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did review it.
Yes.
All you gotta do is search the horror show and the movie, and you'll find out if we reviewed it or not.
No, with the Stephen King stuff, it's the funniest, man, where people jump on and they're like, you should do a video about your favorite this or your least favorite that, and I'm like, well, please.
Corey Segara says Gerald's game was crazy. Sorry, because it has a scene that was the first scene in forever I've had to legit pause and turn away. I had to turn away from the scene too.
Is it a scene I haven't seen yet?
Yes.
Okay.
It's rough.
I only have about 30 seconds.
I only have about 30 seconds left, and I had to jump on the stream.
No. I have about 30 minutes left of it. I was talking, with peeps last night, and I just went to sleep. So anyway.
Yes, we are going to have a spoiler section of our review of Gerald's game. Yes.
Yeah, because check it out. I did.
We will start non-spoiler, and then we will let everyone know when we go into spoilers.
Yeah, he's actually been asking me book factoids. He's like, so what happened in the book? Man?
I'm curious to see how it lines up.
Yeah. And I was like, Cecil, I did a video all about it, buddy.
Yeah, I don't want your shit.
Of course he doesn't.
I have so much.
He's like, be a good little Drew.
No, that's the thing. When you're a content creator, you have very little time to actually consume content.
True.
I
actually don't watch any of our stuff after we film it.
No, I don't either. Frankly, that's why I don't like editing a lot of our stuff, because I'm like, I was there. Why do I need to sit through this again?
Yeah. The only stuff that I do rewatch is if I wasn't there for like a prolific trailer reaction, and it's one that I'm curious about. I want your reaction, and I want Marsha's, and like I hope lots of the viewers do. So.
Okay, let's see. I didn't turn away, but I was queasy.
Nah.
Let's see. I must be the only one not feeling the Gerald's game hype.
Well, there's some hype. I haven't really read much hype.
There's not much hype. It's just people like it. Yeah, people like it. I just enjoyed it from a filmmaking standpoint.
The book was really good.
From a filmmaking standpoint, it was a real feat to accomplish. And Mike Flanagan is one of my favorite directors. I love. Guys, everyone always goes to certain things. I go to Absentia with Mike Flanagan.
Yeah. One
of his earliest fucking things, if not his first one. I love that. Doug Jones was in that one. Oculus was good, yes.
Yeah, that's the one that Carla, my brother, a few different people, they're all just like, man.
I loved Hush. Yeah. Loved Hush.
Yeah, well, we loved Hush.
We loved Hush. Marsha did not. Marsha must have read the book first.
There was no boo.
We're excited to watch Polaroid One since we haven't seen that yet. But Fuego, continue with your Stephen King story.
Polaroid
Stop letting me get distracted.
By the way, Polaroid was delayed to December, but at least it has another release date. I'm sure we'll talk about that in the news on Tuesday, so look forward to
You mean Newsday?
News!
Oh!
Cecil.
Sorry, I had my eyes closed. No, there's Monday, Newsday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, so after discussing Sai King and just... Man, it was so funny making new friends with everybody in line and stuff, and thankfully finding a couple people who would hold my place in line as I ran around and just showed how many people were in line. You guys will see it in the little feature that I'm putting together. It's going to be about 30 minutes, but I was much better off line-wise than I had anticipated, because there was maybe 100 people in front of me, but being 7th row center, I ran around the corner, dude, and so there were people around that corner, and then around one corner, and then around another corner. It was crazy.
Did you walk the whole line at least one time? Did you do a sped-up shot?
I did not walk the entirety of the line.
Come on, producing 101.
Well, I walked the line to the point that it was, but I'm sure that before they started...
You gotta, run the line with your camera so you can do it speed up, and it's like...
Oh my goodness, there was
you go down line, and then turn a corner line.
There was one, tweaker. I'm sorry. There was a tweaker.
I don't know why you didn't buy me a ticket, too, quite frankly.
Well, you told me you were going to go to Halloween Horror Nights, sir.
Is that really why? God damn it. That's a bummer, because I shouldn't have, I wanted to, but I couldn't.
I was alone, and then the fans that were like, yeah, I'll meet up with you, they...
Oh, you got bailed on by fans?
I did get bailed on by fans.
What?
There's two different fans who were like, I'm going to be there, I'll look out for you, and one of them... And that's not to throw her under the bus because she's a sweetheart, but
okay, just give me her name and it's fine. No big deal.
That's not cool. I'm not going to say that. No. She was like, I saw you.
Edward D says, "Wow, call those guys out."
No. Me and her were tweeting back and forth, and she was like, I saw you doing interviews and I didn't want to interrupt you, and that's fine. It's all good. I was.
Oh, the person said that.
That's what the girl said. Yeah. And that's nothing against her.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Fair.
Because, dude, I was fervently interviewing people. So
how much footage did you actually get? How much raw footage did you get?
I'd say about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I think I did...
if I was there, I probably would have walked away with an hour and a half, but that's just because I'm fucking ridiculous.
Well, when nobody is going to save your spot in line...
That's rough.
That was the shitty thing.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you did not do a good job. 30 minutes is awesome.
Yeah, it was like
I'm saying that's good.
Interview, and I even was joking. I was joking with the people who I was interviewing, like, about saving my spine and lung, and none of them offered, and I wasn't going to ask.
You were trying to be like,
I tried with every single person, dude.
I'm gonna save my spine. How bullshit is that, right?
I tried with every person, and it was...
Okay, alright, I'll see you guys later. Alright, thanks.
Well, that's what Sai King induces in people, man. You know, I mean...
Damn.
Yeah, so, long story short, where I ended up was really cool, because the two people that I ended up talking with, and then it was another girl and her mom. And actually, her mom ended up being like the 7th or the 8th interview, which I had not intended. Because she had this bag, her bag was covered with King book covers and stuff. And
cool.
She was really shy, and she didn't want to talk to me at first. And, started chatting with her daughter. And she was like, okay, my mom has sent King birthday cards every year, and that was something that I was talking about.
Nice.
So she sent him birthday cards for like 40 years, and so that was really cool. Finally, we get inside, and these 3,000 people were all...
Now, the one book signing I've ever been to was this one.
This wasn't even a book signing.
It was this one. It was for
shit.
Felicia Day's release of You're Never Weird on the Internet, almost. I actually got to meet her. There was probably like 500 people that day. Obviously, 500 people is nothing compared to 3,000, but I actually got to meet her. That's what I thought Fuego was going to do. Is that the impression? You were never given that impression.
No. And there was nobody on the tour who was given that impression.
Okay.
So he was doing venues.
Well, that's nice. At least they didn't bait and switch you.
Yeah, exactly. He was giving. He was doing venues of about 800 to 1,000 at most of the other spots. Although it really made me wonder when every single spot sold out immediately, and then this was the only one that didn't. Because I was originally planning to go to Portland with a former significant other, which didn't transpire. And it was like, okay, this is going to be the thing that's going down. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to, the dream of the 90s is alive in Portland. And it sold out instantly, even after, all of that ended. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll see what's still available. And the Chicago area was all that was still available. And it made sense once I got there because of the fact that, as opposed to the smaller bookstores that he was at, this one was massive, like an entire...
Like Barnes & Nobles, or like what?
No. They basically...
Like Sports Authority, or like...
So, dude, we went into...
Walmart's?
Well, I guess kind of Walmart's is maybe the closest bit.
Right.
Yeah. We walked into almost like a convention center auditorium area.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the basketball hoops were all up at this small college, and they had just set nothing but rows and rows of chairs. Rows and rows and rows of chairs. And we were so blessed that even the fact that I did all those interviews and stuff, and, I made friends with newer people who, saved my spot in line as I went and did some B-roll. When I came back, they were like, oh man, did you see that line? And I was like, yeah. And we were so blessed to end up 7th row, center, like right there from where he was, man. And so we made eye contact with King and his son and stuff, which was cool. But as we turned around and looked back and I took some B-roll, dude, it was astounding. And then King even mentioned, right when they first took stage, he was like, this is the biggest of the entire book tour. And then I started just being like, oh, god damn it, why didn't I get tickets immediately for Portland or for whatever? It would have been a more intimate experience, which I would have preferred with King, but...
Oh, wait, so you would have been able to go up to a table possibly at the Portland one?
That's the thing. I'm not certain about.
Well, don't beat yourself up without that without
I was
that
so
knowledge.
close though, man. I mean, he was like, honestly,
I saw your pictures were cool.
Yeah, dude. From me to about your couch over there, that's about as far as he was, because
that's pretty close.
Dude, they stacked those chairs so closely. There was like no room for people to even maneuver and walk out. It was terrible, but. As far as the discussion between King and his son, he's written stuff with Joe Hill, and I know you really have an appreciation for Joe Hill.
I love Joe Hill.
Right?
That's why I have the Lock and Keys up here. That's the one he did with Joe Hill, Road Rage, right there.
Yeah.
I love Joe Hill. I need to read the longer stuff. I started to read Nosferatu, but that's pretty pretty. It's kind of a rough one actually to
I was
get
gonna
through.
say, you lent me that.
I want to get through Heart-Shaped Box first, but I love Lock and Key so much that But Marsha swore up and down about Heart-Shaped Box, and it sounded like a really scary ghost story. So I really want to read that.
Yeah, well, you know how much I love anthology shit, and he did first and foremost an anthology called 20th Century Ghosts, if I'm not mistaken, and I downloaded that on. It's audiobook, if I'm not mistaken. It's not an ebook, it's an audiobook, so it will be read to me. Then I will be spoon-fed, which is nice. But I'm actually very excited for that, and then Heart-Shaped Box will be thereafter, and dude, Nosferatu ties in. There's Crimson King references.
Oh, wow.
There's Dark Tower references, so that's one I eventually have to get to.
Did you get to ask a question during the Q&A?
I did not. All the questions were predetermined. I submitted one, and I was not chosen. And honestly, all the questions were kind of lame. You know, they were like, "Did you think of a scene and then have your fathers, write it out?" Because that's the interesting thing with Owen and Steve writing together, and they talked about this. Basically, the way that it's formatted, and I feel like I'm jumping into what I wanted to do for the video you're going to see next week. But basically, long story short, they sat down and they read a passage, each of them, talked extensively about it, gave some back and forth, and then asked each other questions. And then after asking each other questions, they had some audience questions. And
did your Sleeping Beauties review go up already?
no, I haven't even read it.
You haven't read it yet?
No.
You got to get through the
I just got
trilogy,
my
right?
yeah. I just got my book on Friday.
Oh, you were literally waiting to get it there. Okay.
I was, and even though
you got to jump on that review. You might want to jump in ahead of the Bill Hodges book.
Yeah, I know. I downloaded the audiobook already, but I didn't start it because I'm still about 130 pages out of Finders Keepers.
I'm tempted to. Can I read Second Beauties, or is it involved in anything else?
No, it's like its own thing.
Because that's Philip DeFranco started a book club, and the third book they're doing is Sleeping Beauties.
Dude, I gotta tell you, it's another one of those King monsters.
Oh, it is.
Dude, it's like 800 pages, and guys, in the very onset of the book, there's a character listing, which takes up 4 pages.
Wow.
It's almost like Under the Dome status, where it's like, this character is this, and this character is this character is this, so it's like massive shit to really keep track of, and there's something nice and simplistic about Finders Keepers and End of Watch and Mercedes, and so, I don't know, but I'm very excited to read it. I'm hoping that I can get you guys a book review in the next week or two. So, yeah.
That was for Wences. All right. Are you sick, Cecil? Yeah. No, I'm a little. You guys can tell I'm a little nasally. Yeah. Or probably because I keep fucking blowing my nose. That's probably a good reason. Yeah. Yep, and I got Brittany sick, so we're all sick here. Brittany is actually at work. She's finishing in like an hour and 15 minutes. Speaking of which, we only have about 10 minutes left on this. Yeah, no Susie. Susie was supposed to make it today, but
she told us she would. We love
if she
her.
shows up tonight still, before we're done doing Gerald's game and stuff, we might do an impromptu hangout with Susie. Exactly, but
who knows?
We'll see.
We love her.
So, Fuego's asking, Fuego, what was
Fuego is
Owen
asking
like?
Fuego.
I'm sorry, Zeth is here, and she's asking Fuego, what's
Zeth!
Owen like? Do we have promise?
Owen is really interesting because of the fact that on stage, it was so cute and endearing to see the chemistry between him and his father. I guess he hasn't written a lot of horror, though. And so, it was funny because there was one question where they talked about, why did you use the last name when your older brother didn't?
Right.
And I thought that was really interesting, and Owen was like, I saw the struggles my older brother went through, and it made me kind of like, he took the easier way, maybe. And I just didn't want to say that, or claim that, but, he vocalized the fact that Joe Hill, going under kind of a pen name, nobody knew who he was, and all of the massive struggles that, he had trying to get published. And so, I don't know.
Yeah, but he still made it, though.
He still made it, which means that talent doesn't fall that, the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree. He was vigilant, which actually...
Or does it? That's the thing. How talented is Owen if he had to use the name to get noticed?
That was something that we were all
That makes me a little concerned about Sleeping Beauties.
Chattering about, but the cool thing that Owen mentioned is that he came up with the idea. So basically, guys, just to let you know, Sleeping Beauties is about the idea of what if all of the women in the world, there was almost a The Stand pandemic where women all started, when they went to sleep, not waking up. Straight up Sleeping Beauty status. And when they went to sleep, almost like a cocoon kind of thing forms on their faces. And if you try to wake them up, it's straight up like the Cell. So it's like violent, insane reaction and, you know, clawing and craziness and, you know, totally rabid. And so that's basically the premise of this book. And Owen called his father and he's like, hey, so I got this idea. I think you might like it. I think you should write it. And then Stephen is like, we should write it together. And Owen, so funny on stage, he's like, no, I don't want to write with you, Dad. You know, he was like, I have no interest in writing with you, Dad. And it ended up turning into coercion from Sai King to get his son to write with him. Whereas apparently he said that he had no issues writing with his older son before, but Owen was really wanting to have that independence and not wanting to...
Blue Moon says, you two are so going to love Sleeping Beauties.
Yeah, well, I'm very curious about it. I'm extremely excited because the two passages that they read, guys. So there was one passage which was like, you know, it was, you know, people hanging out doing whatever. But the other passage was where there's a newscaster and it was Sai King denounces Trump all the fucking time. He, like, goes after him. Yeah, and actually, you know what's funny? That you did that? King did this on stage, and I laughed my ass off. King doing that? So funny. But the newscast portion that he read was where a older white male was talking about how this apparent pandemic is not real. And then a producer on the show, a woman with her headset on, runs on stage, runs on screen, and starts like punching this guy in the face because she's like, "You're full of shit. This is a real issue," and she just starts hitting him. And it was great the way he read it too. I mean, I have loved Blood and Smoke. What else has he read that I've done? The Wind Through the Keyhole. Anytime King reads a book of his own, it's pricelessly awesome, and so. Yeah, I can't wait to read Sleeping Beauties. I will gladly lend it to you. The only thing, I'm so upset that my Cemetery Dance copy that I spend way too much money on my PayPal.
Did you see what I tagged you in the person
it's not
that made
be here
the
for
special, the Dark Tower set? The special handmade Dark Tower set?
You did, yeah.
What did you think of that?
Oh, well, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
I still need those original copies, hardcovers. And the guy that I talked to...
Hey, and while we're at it, send Fuego the original Dark Tower copies. I'll take the original Harry Potter copies for Brittany as gifts.
Yeah, so the first three...
Lazy Gamer keeps asking about Scott Snyder's Witches, and I'm going to at least respond.
Please do. Scott Snyder is the shit.
I love Scott Snyder. However, I read the first issue and have the first issue of Witches. It did not catch my attention because I fucking hate witch stories for the most part.
I like witch stories.
Except for Hocus Pocus.
Maybe
I really don't like witch stories.
We're going to talk on Tuesday. We're talking Tuesday, bro.
But Dirk loves witches. So we will do a witches review eventually. We will.
Dirk is the shit, man.
He asked a bunch of times, so I wanted to at least touch base on it.
It was Dirk?
So guys, Lazy Gamer. Guys, Fuego, what else about your trip before we go? Because we got to wrap this up.
Oh, man, it was...
Was it worth it, first of all?
We're talking bucket list stuff here, guys. Of course it was worth it. To be 7 rows from Sai King, my favorite author, the guy that I look up to, the guy who's born the day after me. It was wondrous. It was beautiful. Seeing him with his posterity also was just so incredible.
I love when I can do this shit.
Yeah. So incredibly endearing because of the fact that you could see the love between the both of them on stage and the questions that they asked. And this is actually something I forgot. So Owen has this thing that he's doing right now, guys, where on tour he has this little book, and it's called Stephen King Trivia. And so he sits down, and before they get to the audience stuff, he's like, "All right, Dad, I'm going to ask you some trivia about your books." And he, like, flips to something. This guy's written, like, 60 books at this time, guys.
60 at least.
Yeah, well, that's just the novels. That's not even including the short stories and everything. And so he's like, "So, Dad, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about one of your more popular works." And it's so funny. He asked him stuff about the body when I was there, but he said he's asked him stuff about As a Dragon, various other things. And so he changes it with every tour stop. And it was it was so cute, man. It was so fun.
So, I'm sorry, I just wanted to jump in because Ian Repesh asks, Fuego, have you ever read the graphic novel Black Hole by Charles Burns?
No. I guess I'm going to, though.
Yeah, so that's my copy. Fuego might like it, he might not. Check, just flip through it if you want. But, guys, a couple of things I wanted to hit real quick.
I like that.
Guys, I don't know if you saw, if you don't follow us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook.
I'm taking this with me.
Okay, Facebook.com/The Horror Show channel.
Please do.
We announced
Hercules,
that
Hercules.
this is Tales from Cryptober, y'all.
I loved your title, by the way, because you didn't even tell me you were going to call it that.
I couldn't work it into the fucking thumbnails. I wanted to, but I was like, no, it needs to be Tales from the Crypt, and I can't have Tales from Cryptober and Tales from the Crypt in the same thumbnail, so I said, fuck it.
Yeah.
But
How
Tales from Cryptober, you guys, we're doing 2 different big Halloween celebrations, and actually more than that, and I'll explain why. But what we're doing is Fuego is re-presenting last year, or was it 2 years ago?
2 years.
2 years ago at this point, Fuego for Infuegotainment, his channel, he did
which is being rebranded right
32 episodes reviewing the entire series of Tales from the Crypt. He has pulled those episodes from Infuegotainment, and now we are re-presenting them here on the Horror Show. 31 days in October, we are getting 32 days of Tales from the Crypt reviews because the last day is all 3, count them 3, Tales from the Crypt movies.
Yeah,
most people only know about 2 of them.
Yeah, the third one's pretty shitty.
Pretty shitty. But, nonetheless, it is Tales from Cryptober, and in the middle of Tales from Cryptober, you guys are going to get the 8 days of Salloween, which is going to be myself and Brittany talking about every single movie in the Saw franchise. We have done up to 5 at this point, but our plan is whenever we go see the 8th movie, the brand new one that comes out in October, Jigsaw, the release date is October 27th. However, if we see it early due to a press screening, then the 8 days, or then the 7 days prior to it are going to be our reviews of the first 7 Saw movies.
Yeah.
And then we might actually have Ms. Bond contributing to do a Saw video game review for the extra special 9th day of Salloween.
Shout out to Miss Bond.
So,
awesome
it is
lady.
Tales from Cryptober, and there will be the 8 days of Salloween. So every single day in October, there's going to be a review from Fuego of 3 episodes of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I had this strange idea a couple years ago. I was like, oh my god, there's 31 days in the month of October. The most horrific month of the year. There's 93 episodes of Tales from the Crypt. What if I was to watch 3 a day, give them distinctions, you know? So one is good, one is bad, one is ugly, you know, bueno malo feo. That was the big trope that...
Wait! Brady has another question.
Oh, okay. Hold up. Hey, hold up, dude. Hold up for Brady.
Guys, when y'all gonna do another Google Hangout? He's asked like 3 times, and now other people are like, don't care, Brady has a question. Lord Brady requires your attention.
Lord Brady has inquired.
I don't know.
We love you, man.
Moving
We're
on.
just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometime soon, I want to do it, but guys, I do also want to mention. No, I didn't finish.
What else are we gonna rewatch besides?
Yes, I didn't finish what we were doing.
Something significant now.
Guys, we are going to be doing a review. You know what Tuesday is, right?
Oh,
you know what we're doing in addition to the news.
Of course I do.
We are going to be reviewing Cult of Chucky, you guys.
Yeah.
We are going to watch and review Cult of Chucky on Tuesday, and then following that, we are actually going to be reviewing all the Chucky movies. However, this Thursday, October 5th, Fuego and I are attending the showing at the Alamo Draft House of Victor Crowley with
Thank you, happy birthday, bro.
Yes, this was Fuego's birthday present to me, and we are going to be going. The director, Adam Green, is going to be there, so on Thursday you can look forward to a late-night review of Victor Crowley.
And that's because we've been like, dude, get some press, hook us up, and we haven't heard anything.
As such, we also are going to be reviewing the 3 Hatchet movies. I don't know that we'll get them done leading up to the movie, or if we'll have to get them done afterwards.
It's the same with Jeepers Creepers. So.
Exactly, Jeepers Creepers came out a little bit after we did our 3rd review. However,
we
are also going to be doing
slow motion scene.
one of the live streams, which I haven't told the rest of the show yet.
Really?
But one of the live streams during October is going to be a pumpkin carving live stream. We're all going to get pumpkins, and we're going to be carving pumpkins in front of everyone right here at this table.
As long as we're drinking pumpkin beer, I'm okay with that. That's fine.
And then we are also going to be having a Halloween-themed cooking segment led by Brittany Lee herself.
Yeah.
So that's going to be coming up this month as well.
Susie.
So
she's like, I'm going to cook the shit out of this.
We're going to do a lot of stuff because Susie's supposed to be here right now, and that's why Susie's not doing the cooking segment.
Hi, Susie.
Just kidding. But seriously, we have a lot going on this month. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We appreciate it, and this was Hail to Stephen King for this week.
This was. Gracias, y'all. So next week, you can actually look forward to the interviews that I did and so on and so forth. This is actually this handsome man cutting me some slack because of the fact that I got in at like 11 last night with all my footage and dumping and so on and so forth. It just was not going to be a good episode, so this is us discussing and looking forward to next week, and then also...
Man, I have not been hearing good words about Cult of Chucky. It sucks.
Really?
I'm getting scared.
Dude, I've heard awesome stuff.
Really? Okay.
Dude, I've heard people say it's
the
Zombie
best. MR says Cult of Chucky is so good, but I've seen other people say no.
I've heard Cult of Chucky is like the best entry in the series, the most eloquent, was what Bloody Disgusting said.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're getting others.
We'll see, guys.
All right, well, thank you guys very much for joining us. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I'm having Fuego.
Hail to Stephen King! And remember, stay scared.
Follow the path of that beam, yo.
And our Gerald's Game review should be tomorrow.
Yeah, Gerald's Game is coming. Who's excited for
Gerald's Game tomorrow?
22?
Gerald's Game tomorrow! Gerald's Game tomorrow!
Gerald's Game!